These are my words. I'm picking up our reading at page 124. Thursday, February 16. I decided to send Grandma the Valentine card I made. I don't know if they'll send it. I didn't have time to write anything yesterday. We had to stand in line for a very long time before supper. Finally, Miss Tanner allowed us to sit on the floor while she went into the kitchen. We could hear the boys' supervisor laughing hard at something. Miss Tanner came back with her straight face and didn't say anything. Finally, we were told to stand up again, and we said our prayer before going into the dining room. We never found out what the problem was. Some of the girls were joking that maybe the cook fell asleep and had to start cooking our supper just when the supper bell rang. I don't know how to answer Mother's letter. I decided to write to Grandma instead, and I dated it from Tuesday when it actually was Valentine's Day. February 14, 1967. Dear Grandma, I had a really nice day today. We made Valentine's cards in class today, and I decided to make you one. There's a white boy in class who is always very nice to me. He would hand over a pencil if I couldn't find mine, or he would tell me the page number that the teacher was talking about in the textbook if I missed it. That really helps. It makes me feel like I am not so alone. So when we finished the Valentine's cards, I made this one for you, and the boy came over and put one he had made on my desk. I didn't know what to do, so I just whispered thanks. It seems people exchange cards with big hearts and love signs here on Valentine's Day. I don't know what Valentine actually means. Don't know who or what it is. Could be a person or a fairy. I suppose Valentine could be a guy like Cupid. Anyway, hope things are going all right with you. Is the weather beginning to warm up yet? I have been seeing birds that are much too early for spring here, but trees and birds are all different here. I'm keeping my spirits up and doing the best I can to find things that make me happy. I have picked up my story about Blackie again. I don't know. I didn't know it was going to be so hard when I first thought of that project. I got a letter from Mother about Izzy killing a moose and how much fun they had had camping out in the snow to work on the meat. I'm still thinking about how I should answer that letter. I don't know anything about that stuff. The last time Izzy killed a moose, when I was there, he just got some of the other guys in the community to go with him and to get the meat, and he brought back a chunk home. I guess I'll think of something. Write again soon, Grandma. I miss you. Love, Peanut. Friday, February 17. I decided to write down the names of things so I don't forget them. That way I can read them before I write down the things for my diary. Grandma will think it's funny. I had a nightmare where I saw Grandma and I couldn't remember the Anishinaabe words to tell her what I wanted to say. It was like I had no mouth, and she would just look at me and wait to hear what I had to say as I struggled to say something. I was crying when I woke up. I think it's because sometimes I can't remember what a thing is called in Anishinaabe when I see it. Saturday, February 18. I saw David sweeping the boys' side of the dining room this morning. He smiled at me as I was sweeping the girls' side. Then he pushed his pile of dust onto my side, and I saw the boys' supervisor come around the corner behind him. He saw David and yelled at him to pick up his own dust. I giggled. David got caught. Sunday, February 19. We just went to the chapel today, and we're doing nothing much again today. We had another really nice sing-along with one hymn, but the rest was really sad and boring. I don't understand why the principal thinks he has to talk on and on about nothing, really. Most of the time I tune out, as I have no idea what he's talking about. Emma has not visited me in a while. I have no idea how she's doing. I'm feeling really sad. I'm having really bad dreams. Last night I dreamt that I was running in the bush trying to get home, but I didn't know which way to go and something was chasing me. I can't really think clear or concentrate on homework, or I find myself looking out the window at school when the teacher is talking. I just want to go home. I started imagining today that if I got an early start one day, I could probably walk to the train station and use the few dollars that I have managed to save, and maybe I could get away. But I know I don't have enough money to get me to the next town. I just cry myself to sleep. There's nothing else to do. Monday, February 20th. At lunchtime, on my way home, a shadow fell over me, and I looked up, and it was an owl. I've never seen an owl flying around during the day. It flew right over me and landed on a tree above me. It was still up there when I walked by. That was very strange. I have to remember to ask Grandma about it. Why would an owl do that? Tuesday, February 21st. I got another letter from Mother when we got home after school. Dear Violet, how are you today? I'm sending you $5 so that you can spend it on something you like. We're all doing all right here. Your brother and sister are fine, and Izzy is doing okay too. We all went ice fishing last Saturday, and Izzy got the biggest trout that I've ever seen. It was huge. People at the band office were taking pictures of it when Izzy stopped by there on the way home. I think he was just showing off, and we ended up giving half of it to a family next door because they happened to be there too. Since they saw the fish, we had to share it with them. Here I was thinking we could get more than 3 meals out of it. It serves me right for not thinking of sharing it in the first place. I talked to Grandma yesterday. I called the store there to get a message to Grandma, but she happened to be at the store, and I got to talk to her right away. She doesn't like to use the phone herself to call me because she has to crank the handle and talk to the dispatcher, and then has to talk to someone else at the band office before she can talk to me. If it happened to be busy and not the first person to pick up the phone, it would be difficult. She said that you are probably feeling really sad about not being able to come home at Christmas, so I decided to write again and send you some money to buy your favorite chocolate or toffee you like. Please cheer up and not to feel too low. Find something that interests you. How are you doing with the Black ebook? Keep yourself busy, work hard, and remember that you can come home for the summer. Write soon. Your mom, Emily. Thursday, February 23rd. I got a cotton handkerchief for $1 at Kresge's yesterday from the money Mother sent. I was sitting on my bed just before supper and I began rolling the cloth into a frog, the way that Grandma showed me. That one was easy. I undid it and began rolling a rabbit, but I almost forgot how to roll the cloth so that the ears popped up. I was working on a partridge to get the wings to come out properly. When one of the older girls walked by my bed, she immediately grabbed the cloth and whispered, "What's the matter with you?" and flattened out my handkerchief and threw it at me. "What?" I said. She glared at me and whispered back, "It's from home. Not allowed." I really hate this place. Saturday, February 25th. We were coming up the stairs after lunch and I saw Miss Scott at my locker. She had the door open and she had my papers in her hand. I almost had a heart attack. I saw that she had my Blackie story book where I kept my diaries inside. A shock went through me, and I rushed forward and I smiled at her and said, "Oh, you found my story. Here, let me show you the drawing I am doing that's going to be on the cover." She smiled and handed me the papers, and I pulled out my drawings, and we laughed when I showed her my first attempt at a dog face. Then she moved on to the next one. Phew, that was close. I'm still shaking. Sunday, February 26th. I had better answer Mother's letter. February 26, 1967. Dear Mother, thank you for your letter. I'm glad you guys had fun camping in the snow. That roasted meat over the fire would have tasted good. I can't wait to see Lyndon's doggie. You never said what his name was. Thank you for your second letter and the money. I bought a kerchief with it. It's beige with pink flowers on it. It's really pretty. I'm working hard at school and learning a lot about the English language. I'm not saying that I truly understand it yet, but I guess I will in time. It has been very cold here with a lot of blowing snow. We went to the chapel for Sunday services this morning, and I realized that I was singing along to the hymns. I must have learned them when I wasn't paying attention. I like us singing all together in the chapel. I've never done that before. I can't wait for the weather to get warmer. Spring will be here soon. Write again soon. Your daughter, Violet. Thursday, March 2nd. I'm still struggling with parts of speech. I think the English language is long, complicated, a mix of nouns, verbs, adjectives, blah, blah, blah. I keep getting very frustrated. Then I get angry. I can't take much more of this. I want to go home. I had another crying fit last night. I woke up from a nightmare. I dreamed that Grandma was calling, but there was so much bush that I could not find her. I was running around searching and calling, and I kept hearing her calling me, but I could not find her, and I had a hard time going back to sleep. I'm having trouble remembering the names of the types of the snow in Anishinaabe, since I had to write down in English. Snow is coon. It is snowing is sukun. Deep snow is ishpagun. It's another big long word. I can't remember what sleet is called. I've been thinking about it ever since last week. I can't remember icicle either. Now I just feel like crying. I don't hear anybody whispering the Anishinaabe or Cree language. Ever since the fall night of the girls saying the Lord's Prayer, I tried asking one of the girls to whisper the word icicle to me, and she just glared at me and walked away. Friday, March 3rd. I've been practicing writing with my left hand. I was born left-handed, but the teachers at home used to hit my left hand hard with a ruler if they caught me writing with it. So I had to learn to write with my right hand. Since then, I've been writing with my right hand. So now I'm going to write with my left hand in my diary. Saturday, March 4th. I was really feeling sad last night and found I was running my hand through my hair like Grandma used to do when I would sleep beside her as a little girl. She used to say, "You're a good girl," over and over again until I fell asleep. I began to relax and it helped me go to sleep. Imagining Grandma saying that over and over. Sunday, March 5th. I'm getting pretty good writing with my left hand in just 3 days. It came back pretty fast. Like learning to walk. I can't tell the difference between my left and my right hand now. I hold the paper a bit crooked to keep my letters straight, though. Wednesday, March the 8th. I got upset today at a white girl at school. She called me a name that I didn't really understand. I knew it was bad, but I did not react just turned around and walked away. I find that when I stroke my hair from my forehead and run my hand through my hair and repeat, "You're a good girl," over and over, it really helps. Then I go to sleep. Friday, March 10. My Anishinaabe conversation is still okay. It was just the names of things that I started to forget. I just keep talking to myself so I don't lose the words. I pretend that I'm telling a story to Grandma. I twisted my ankle on my way home from school this afternoon. It's pretty swollen. I've been limping around all evening, and I will probably have to limp around all weekend too. Saturday, March the 11th. My ankle is not too bad this morning. I made a sketch of Grandma ice fishing. She's kneeling down on a bed of spruce boughs. Her ice chisel is sticking into the snow beside the water hole. There's the toboggan beside her, and she's holding a stick with her fishing line tied to the end of it. As always, she has her kerchief over her head and her thick scarf around her neck. I drew her shadow beside her, but I then had to make shadows of all the other objects around her. I thought I was all done. Then I noticed that I had missed the shadow of the chisel. I think she'll laugh when she sees the size of that trout that's lying on top of the toboggan. Monday, March 13. There was an announcement on the intercom when we got home after school. We're being sent home for Easter. We're going home for Easter. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Tuesday, March 14. I just had a horrible thought. What if they find this diary then? And then, as punishment, what if they don't let me go home? What if they find this before I can get away? I wish there was somewhere safe where I could hide it. There is nowhere. Miss Tanner doesn't pay much attention to us younger girls. It's the oldest girls that she's always on about. She found a pack of cigarettes in someone's shoes yesterday. The girl was sent to the office. Don't know what happened to her. But when she came back into the dorm, she looked like she had been crying. Friday, March 17. It's St. Patrick's Day today. I have no idea who St. Patrick is either. They say saint, so he must have something to do with the church, like the man with the angels around him in the colored window at the church. Maybe he's St. Patrick. But the angels look like little round naked boys, like the Cupid on our Valentine's card, that are all flying around him. I have no idea. But then, how would that have anything to do with the green clovers and green stringers they put up all around the school? That makes no sense to me. No sense at all. With my shepherd's pie for supper, I can't figure out why they call it a pie when it just has hamburger with peas and corn and topped with potatoes. It was good anyway. I have nothing else to write about. Monday, March 20th. When we got here after school, the kids were hitting each other with snowballs. I was just about to run inside when the door opened. I glanced back and I saw Johnny with his eyes on me, so I ducked, and the snowball exploded right on Miss Tanner's face. And she was coming out the door. Everyone froze. She wiped the snow off her face and pointed to Johnny and pointed to the main door. She never said a word, and Johnny walked in front of her, with his neck buried in his shoulders, to the main door where the principal's office was. A few kids giggled when the door closed, but I ran inside and up the stairs to write this. It was funny, actually.